Hi guys! Today I'm going to review Kiss of the Vampire. Kiss of the Vampire came out in 1963 and is a Hammer production. It was directed by Don Sharp and this was his first movie for Hammer. He would go on to do several more for the studio. It was written by Anthony Hinds under his pseudonym John Elder, music by James Bernard, and the film runs 88 minutes. It was originally going to be the third in the Dracula series, following on from The Brides of Dracula from 1960, but was treated as an original vampire film without Dracula or Van Helsing in it. The ending with the bats and black magic was intended to be the ending of The Brides of Dracula. However, Peter Cushing objected, saying that Van Helsing would never use black magic, so the idea was scrapped and used for this film instead. Kiss of the Vampire stars Clifford Evans, Noel Willman, Edward de Souza, Jennifer Daniel and Barry Warren. So the plot of this one, it's a vampire movie and the story is about Gerald and Marianne who visit a castle where Marianne is abducted by vampires, a vampire cult led by Dr. Raven. Gerald seeks help of Professor Zimmerman to save his wife and destroy the vampires. So this time, there's no Peter Cushing, there's no Christopher Lee. This is an original vampire film that Hammer did, and they always up the game when they do vampire movies. Not only did Hammer do the Dracula series, which I love, it also did the Karnstein trilogy of The Vampire Lovers, Lust for a Vampire and Twins of Evil. They made this film. They also did Vampire Circus and also my all-time favourite Hammer film, Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter. But this film, it treats the vampires differently. They're almost like a religious cult. So they come across as kind of like Moonies or Scientologists or even Jehovah's Witnesses. Hey Phil! These bloody vampires are like a religious cult. Like these bloody Jehovah's Witnesses that gone round your bloody house, selling you a load of bloody crap. I do have reservations about this film though. It's the ending that spoils it for me, but I'll get to that later. The film has a lavish look though. It's one of the best looking of the films that Hammer did, and it's on HD, and the film, it shines when you watch it. There's beautiful colours in it. For instance, when she has this red dress on, she looks stunning in the film. It also has amazing sets, and Don Sharp did a great job with his direction as well. Not only does it look good, but it's more character driven. All the characters are well drawn out. The professor, he's lost his daughter to the vampires. There's a great speech that he gives. Great acting.
I had a daughter. She was all I had in the world. I idolized her. When she was very young, she ran away from home. Well, she came home eventually. What was left of her came home. She was riddled with disease. And she was a vampire.
And the young couple that go to the innkeeper and his wife, they've lost their daughter as well. And the innkeeper's wife, she's like bitter about losing her daughter. And she's crying on a night looking at a picture. So those little moments that really stood out for me. And our two heroes, the young couple, they're very likeable. Even the vampires, it's kind of like the head ones are like a family. There's the father figure and he has a son and a daughter. It's not your standard vampire film. And the vampire family, they're friendly at first. It's a little bit like what cults do. They draw you in by being friendly. And then they show the true colours afterwards. There's also a twist halfway through the film. He loses his wife. She vanishes. And everyone's saying that he didn't have a wife.
What wife, sir?
My wife, you old fool!
Trying to drive him a little bit crazy, trying to make him believe that he didn't have a wife, until he sees the professor and he tells him that of course he had a wife. When he does meet her, she's in with the cult, and there's even a scene where she spits in his face. There, the dirty bitch spitting in his bloody face. Hey, Phil, I bet she's the type that doesn't swallow. So there's lots of tension and suspense in this film. It's kind of like almost like a thriller in a way instead of a vampire film. So I was loving it right up till the ending. Like before the ending, I'd probably end up giving this film top marks. But the ending, it's a big disappointment. So the professor, he manages to do black magic and summon this horde of bats to destroy the vampires in the castle. I don't know how vampire bats can kill vampires. And it's a totally lazy way of writing the story, just having these bats killing the vampires, and then it ends. So you see the professor, he's doing this magical circle, and he has to have all these things inside the circle, like a horn.
Ring, sword, liquid, and the horn.
Eh? He has to be in the bloody circle with a horn? He just needs to look at that bloke's wife. Chap got a bloody hard on. And this was originally going to be done for The Brides of Dracula, but Peter Cushing objected. Thank God he did, because it's terrible, badly written ending for a film. Not only that, but it wouldn't have been so bad if it was done well. But the bats look bad. There's some poor animation as well where they go towards the castle. Just a little bit of blood, it's not even gory. You just see a few bats on the necks. They all get killed and that's it at the end. Although it's just like the last, say, 10 minutes of the film. It just goes to show how an ending can totally ruin a good film. It's so important to end a film on a good moment. But after you watch this film you think, oh, that was poor. But it wasn't though. Right up till then I was really enjoying it. It was just the last 10 minutes. So it's a missed opportunity. This film could have been a classic. So out of 10, I still think it was a good film, but instead of giving it top marks, the ending dropped it down 2 points. So I'm going to give it out of 10, 8. 8 out of 10. What did you think, boys? Did you like it? Ah, the bloody ending spoilt the bugger. I thought them bloody bats flying about were soft as bloody shit. Bloody vampire bats killing bloody vampires. Now it's a bloody daft in me life. Okay everybody, bye. See you next time. Like, subscribe and share. Bye. Bye.
Darling.
Is that all?
Oh, I'm speechless. You look terrific.
Thank you.
Oh, madame, may I add my congratulations? You look enchanting.
And thank you, Bruno.
It's perfect.